This is Anthony Beyonders from Mission Start Podcast. And before we start the show, I'd like to say that thank you for the support you gave us thus far, making this site where it is today. But to keep this going, we need a bit of help. As much as we love, going to conventions and, talking about games and the podcast and everything we do, some of this stuff isn't easy for us to do. So we have a Patreon page you guys should check out. On our Patreon page, we have multiple tiers of rewards, goals, and other goodies you can get, including getting these like this podcast early in the week, right when the podcast ends. There's also other rewards as to being in the podcast with us, early access to videos and photos, and much more. But just want to let you know that we have a Patreon page at patreon.com/Mission Start Podcast. Definitely check it out, guys. Share the love, and we'll show you some love.
Everything you need to know some voice. キュンとする一瞬の恋が輝く宝石みたいに続く
Hello, everybody. This is Anthony Beyonders from Mission Start Podcast, and we have another episode of the Conover. Wow, we talked about last week about Katsucon. This week we're talking about AOD, which happened not too long ago. And with us, we have one newcomer and one returning interviewee into this podcast. So first off, we'd like to welcome back Robbie.
Hey there.
And newcomer to the show and his podcast debut is Nate.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So thank you guys, first of all, for joining me for this podcast to talk about everything AOD. My first question to you guys is that when you heard that AOD was moving to another location, what was your general reaction?
Well, my first thought was Japan Expo was here once. Better check. Okay, good. Not the same location that it went to die.
Actually,
it's a good location. Cool.
Actually, the first thing I thought of was it's next to Levi Stadium, which is pretty cool. I don't know. I'm a sports fan. And also the fact that Japan Expo was there in Santa Clara before, and also the fact that I think Fanime was there before, if I remembered. I don't know.
I've been told, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It used to be Fanime used to be in the Santa Clara Convention Center before, so it had its history of conventions, anime conventions there. So to have AOD there, it's to have it over there is actually a little bit better to say. Just the fact that it's a little bit bigger, so that's good to have.
Okay. So one of the things that I noticed was that the venue was bigger. Kind of from the outside looking in, but like, what were some of the things they changed for this AOD than last year's?
Well, let's see. Oh, Nate, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll go ahead first. I'd say the guests. First off, I didn't see AOD have like out of Japan like guests that came here, which is pretty cool to have because like it looks like they're expanding their guest options, their guest of honor options to a much more wider audience, and that's cool to have. Like Lotus Juice was a cool guest of honor to bring over to AOD. I was very happy to see him, and have all the Persona fans, the people, all the anime fans who listen to his music. It was just really awesome to see him. Robbie, you want to say something?
Well, given the location, they were kind of trying out new things with where everything was set up, of course. Dealers Hall was moderately sized, still had enough room for all the dealers and the artists they had in there. But aside from that, the panel rooms and the autograph room, and the maid cafe, that was really all that they had there. They had a few rooms set aside for panels. Like I said, they had one room for the cafe, one room for the autographs. But they didn't really make use of the main convention center area, which I'm assuming is because there were like 2 other events going on at the
Yeah.
same time.
I don't know if they scheduled it correctly because there's like 3 conventions that happened over there. A dance con, some photo shoot that was going on another side of the Santa Clara Convention Center. So AOD was like a mix of all 3 of those conventions in the Santa Clara Convention Center. So that whole area
I
was
think
pretty
that-
much busy.
I think that there was the dance show, and then there was a bodybuilders convention sort of thing.
Okay, so that's what I thought.
A bodybuilders convention. How is that comprised of?
A lot of
Well,
muscular people standing around talking about their workout regimens, apparently.
I thought it was just like girls in swimsuits or something.
That was the dance thing. Remember, there were 2 things.
Oh yeah.
So in this convention building, pretty much 3 events were happening at the same time, like AOD. Yep. Okay, wow, that's nuts.
I mean, like, you'll have the mix of so many people there. So actually, what was just weird when I first entered the Santa Clara Convention Center, I thought I was just very confused at like what was going on, because there was so many people there. Like, oh, are they all for AOD? Don't they look like awesome? They look weird in these cosplays.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have had some pretty interesting interaction between everybody.
Actually, I did not notice anything out of the ordinary. Everyone kind of kept to their own. The dancers did their thing. The geeks did theirs. The bodybuilders did whatever they were there for. Just had one person ask me, "Hey, what's going on over there?" And aside from that, it was no interaction.
Okay. Now you kind of briefly described the convention center building that was used for AOD. Since it was housing these 3 events, the building itself must have been pretty huge to house them, correct?
Oh yeah, it's a big convention center.
Okay.
I was able to fit all 3 of those events to good use, I would say.
I see. Okay. So then my next question would be a little tricky because of what was going on at the convention center. So when you were walking around the convention center, what was the general vibe you were getting from the other con goers? Aside from the fact that they might have felt out of place since AOD used to be in the at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in San Fran. Not everybody.
Let's see.
I'm still thinking of what to say about that. Actually, yeah.
The general feeling from the others that I got just walking around was, okay, yeah, it's a new location. We're all just gonna hang out with our friends, do our own thing, and then wait in line for the autographs. That was the general.
Yeah, I would say that
mood.
I would say that the Santa Clara Convention Center is just a brand new building for AOD to use. So far, they didn't use the whole convention center, which I thought they would actually use the main convention center, where Japan Expo was before.
Mm-hmm.
But they only used the side of the convention center, like not really a lot of rooms that I thought could have been. I mean, not a lot of rooms were there to say. I mean, the big room would have been an awesome thing to have for AOD, but there's a lot of rooms that were around. There's a lot of rooms that were used for animation on display that I think helped out making AOD like a fun experience for all of the con-goers that were going around. Like, I went to Masquerade, and it was like a pretty small room. Like, like last year's Masquerade over at the Hyatt Regency was actually bigger than the one over at the one over at AOD. So yeah, I think AOD staff is just trying to mix up the rooms, trying to test out new ideas and hopefully look for the better. But so far it's not bad so far.
They were making the most of what they had given the situation. Although, honestly, I think it felt a little smaller than last year just because of the way everything was laid out.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Like, I think Dealers Hall, Artist Alley, I know they were compressed together this time. Like, I thought it was a little bit bigger at the Hyatt Regency. But I think, yeah, that's how I thought of it. So
Because you guys felt it was smaller, like, was it a bit more cramped when it came to navigating through the con for?
Not at all, actually. I would say AOD attendance this year was actually smaller than last year. I didn't see any like overcrowding. There was like no con goers just pushing and shoving. It was pretty much just, you just walk through, everyone's having a fun time. That's what I noticed.
Although let's not forget that there were 3 other events going on this weekend for con-goers that were dividing up the crowds.
Oh, that's true, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was AOD, there was KatsuCon, there was Gallifrey 1, and there was Grape City Comic-Con.
So that's why everybody was spread out all over the country going to their conventions while AOD happened at the Bay Area. So
it was a busy weekend.
It was a busy weekend for anime goers. Or anime convention goers, I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
I wish
definitely
I went to anime.
I wish I went to KatsuCon, but I heard a lot about KatsuCon.
Yeah, definitely.
The Fire Nation attacked, apparently.
Yeah. Apparently that happened.
And then they left a mess.
Yep.
Yes, definitely. Concerning AOD though, what I got out of AOD from just seeing the Facebook posts, like everybody was still having a good time regardless of the move. One of the things I saw, at least I catch a few clips here and there on stream, was the game room had a stream setup for some of the speedrunners to come in and show off, the speedrun games that they were doing at the time. Do you guys happen to check out the game room when you were there?
I stopped. Oh,
sorry, I'll say that I just went through, so caught a glimpse of it, and yes, they were like pretty much live streaming the whole time. Like whenever the game room was open, whoever was pretty much playing on the main stage was live streamed. So it could be like random fight battles, could be a tournament going on, could be a speed run that's happening. Everything was streamed, which was pretty cool. So I think people on Twitch or whatever website that they were streaming it on can be able to see what AOD players were playing. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I also stopped in there for a little bit. There were huge crowds all the time, plenty of nerd stank as well, but
you can't avoid that.
Yep, it was just more noticeable in that room, I suppose. But
actually, wait, there's a ball pit in there. Did you notice that?
There was a ball pit for the children.
Children, quote unquote.
Yeah.
No, actually, it was really just for the children. They couldn't fit in anyone larger.
I saw the pictures. Yeah.
Only not speaking from experience, I swear.
Cool. I mean, ball pit. It's no joke about what happened to said con, but that's cool.
Just don't worry, no one peed in there.
As far as we're aware.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true. Okay, so so the game room was pretty busy then for the entire weekend.
I think so.
Oh yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I couldn't even sit down for a game with anyone because it was just so crowded.
I would also say, like, Robbie, would you agree with me on this? Were they limited on kind of like everything, like TVs, consoles?
A little, yes. They did have a sign saying, "Hey, bring your own stuff. Speak to us for the details." But they had some cool stuff. It did feel like there was a bit of a lack in the options, though.
Yeah, I kind of felt that the gaming room was a kind of a small gaming room this time.
So my general...
I could have gone for a tabletop gaming room as well.
I was wondering if they ever had that. Yeah, I was thinking like tabletop gaming would be cool over there, but there was no room for that. And I know there's a lot of like tabletop gamers out there. Like they want to play Dungeons and Dragons. They want to play like
Guilty.
Yeah, Warhammer. You want to play all these other board games. Just for fun for animation on display, but I guess they didn't put that up this year in AOD.
Yeah.
But again, with the space that they had, I can't imagine where they would have put it.
Yeah, you're right about that.
So one of the things I noticed with this year's AOD was that the hotel arrangement for this convention, while it is nearby and you use a shuttle to get there. How was that like? Because like it felt like kind of just from an outside looking in that the distance to go from the convention to the hotel and back using the shuttle would be maybe a bit cumbersome if you needed to change or get something out.
Yeah, it's
You know,
always
the shuttle.
it always is a hassle, especially with having a shuttle going back and forth. I don't know what hotel they picked. I think it was the Blitmore. That was one exit
It
away
was,
from
yeah.
the 101. But yeah, that takes a while from a shuttle going from the Santa Clara Convention Center. You're pretty much taking Great America Parkway all the way down to 101, take the exit again, the next exit to go to the Blitmore, and it takes around 10 minutes possibly, depending on like how traffic goes and stuff. And
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I
Bradley.
stayed at the hotel, so I can tell you guys about how that was. The hotel itself was fine, check-in was easy. They had free Wi-Fi, free breakfast for people who stayed there, yada yada. But the distance was definitely annoying. They had a shuttle that left every half hour, which is fine if you have a half hour to spare for waiting and then catching the shuttle to wherever you need to go. I don't know if too many people actually brought multiple costumes to require changing just for a 2-day convention, but for those who were staying at the hotel, then yeah, that was a necessity. Apparently, if they wanted to get one that was closer, like the convention center hotel or any of the ones around that location, it would have cost a lot more for the convention and for attendees.
I see.
So it was kind of necessitated by cost.
Sorry.
Walls, because it's Valentine's Day. You're going to hear people.
You know what? I thought that the Hilton right next door would actually have a deal with AOD, but or even the Hyatt Regency. Like I thought they were gonna have like a deal with the hotels over there, but no, it's somewhere
so?
that is and it's somewhere like really off. Really off from the convention center. You really have like 3 or 4 months there, and that's your hotel. That's not really a hotel. That's pretty much a hotel that you pretty much book. That's the cheapest one out there. Could have at least got the Hyatt Regency or the Hilton right next door to be your hotel for animation on display.
Yeah. Kind of judging from the outside in. Like I was kind of debating whether to go that weekend. I had already set plans. I was going to go. But at the last minute, I decided not to, just because of seeing how much of an effort and cost it'll cost me to get there, on top of the traveling. So I can imagine that it was pretty annoying for people who did go for the traveling between convention and the hotel. Yeah, from my general sense, kind of talking to you guys, kind of what I've been seeing is that AOD this year was kind of like it was one of those years because I've heard that the Hyatt Regency was undergoing maintenance. Did they had to choose a hotel kind of a last minute to keep the con going for this year? If that's something that I would guess at.
I was thinking though, like maybe it was first year run at Santa Clara Convention Center may not be bad, may not be like that bad, but who knows? They might come back next year to Santa Clara Convention Center.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think that timing was a big issue there, just with everything else going on at that location and everywhere else that weekend. So hopefully next time around the timing will work will work out a little better for them.
Do you think that they're gonna? Do you have a sense, or do you think that the AOD is going to stay in Santa Clara then rather be?
I would say why not? Santa Clara Convention Center is a really awesome place. I mean, it's animation on display is a convention after all. So the Santa Clara Convention Center actually has a lot of more space that AOD can, use if they have the, if they have the effort to use all those rooms. Like the upstairs room really doesn't need a lot of attention. I was thinking more of the main area of the convention center. If they actually use that, they could actually help themselves out and make it AOD a little bit bigger. So I hope animation on display can work with next year, hopefully making it expand and make more use of the convention center.
I think the move there was a little premature, but now that they're there, they might as well make the most of it and keep going.
Okay. We definitely will see how it works out in the future. I mean, AOD, this was kind of, I wouldn't say it was kind of a interrupt or This was kind of a surprise for AOD moving to Santa Clara, but it was definitely a different take on an AOD this past year than it was in previous years. In terms of like the events and panels and everything going on AOD, what were some of the things you were able to check out while you guys were there?
Well, I stopped off at the panel for writing for animation, which is definitely something in line with my interests. Considering that I'm trying to get a job writing for something or getting anything I write published. So there was some pretty good stuff there. They had a bunch of guests who had experience with writing for anime and TV shows and all that sort of stuff there, including someone who actually worked on the dub for Samurai Pizza Cats, which was the first anime I ever watched.
Nice.
So that was kind of a neat surprise for me. So that was a good panel.
For me, it was just Masquerade and Lotus Juice concert. The Masquerade, because I was there just to see how, I love watching Masquerades. Like, Fanime Masquerade is always big. Anime Expo's Masquerade is, bigger. But AOD's Masquerade is, like, something that touches me because, like, all my friends, like, are there. And they're doing their performances, seeing how they worked out. And watching them win an award is also really awesome to see. And also Lotus Juice, because I'm a big fan of Persona. And seeing Lotus Juice up there performing like the Persona songs and all the other anime songs. He did Soul Eater, by the way.
Sick.
Yeah, and he performed 2 of the Soul Eater songs, and I was like hella happy. He did the Death the Kid song. He did Psychedelic Soul Jam. I was pretty happy with that whole concert. I think like that night on Saturday night was pretty much my highlight of Animation on Display.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people really enjoyed the concert that Lotus Juice put on. And that was one of the most praising things I saw from everybody I saw. They were talking about it on Twitter or on Facebook.
I think everybody put up like a picture of him and themselves on Facebook or something. It's all over Twitter, by the way, if you go look at Lotus Juice's Twitter.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome. So one of the things I think we all agree on is like only at anime conventions there'd be these weird, these funny moments that happen to be like in front of us or nearby, and like the only explanation you can tell somebody that's new, it's like, it's an anime convention, so this things tend to happen. Any moments, any quote unquote calm moments for you guys during AOD?
Love Live Cosplayers accidentally hitting the light switch for the
Oh no,
Dealer's Hall.
Oh man, that's like everybody. I don't know who always switched off the light switch, but it's always like someone. Just, I don't know why, but
it got switched back on pretty quickly. It was just kind of an entertaining moment.
The thing is like it's very accessible to find the light switch. You just look around, like it's in the back of the dealer's hall and artist alley, and then someone can just like play around with it. That's kind of weird, but somebody should have like protected that.
I hear you. Huh, okay, that's cool. In regards to the cosplays there at AOD, any particular cosplays that stood out to you guys?
I gotta think about this one.
Let's see.
Excluding your own.
Okay, of course.
Oh, well, now that's just. I mean, what can I say? There were some steampunk Steven Universe cosplayers that I thought were pretty neat.
Cool.
I think there's just a lot of Love Life cosplayers there. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, Love Life cosplayers, a lot of Persona cosplayers because Lotus Juice was there.
Naturally.
Yes.
There was someone in a giant Pikachu suit, the full mascot suit.
Oh, there was a giant dinosaur. Did you see that?
No, I think I missed the dinosaur. How did I miss the dinosaur?
The dinosaur,
How's that even
the
possible?
big dinosaur with the weird arms. He was at I think he was like somewhere in the hallways, like swap meet, right? He was pretty much roaming around there in swap meet before the Lotus Juice concert. So I took a glimpse of that, took a picture of him too. He was just like crazy, being crazy as a dinosaur. You see the videos, right? The dinosaur outfit.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, him being in American Ninja Warrior or something. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it was just that dinosaur. Yeah.
Is that like the new meme now? Just like dinosaurs, like
I don't know. Like maybe something with Jurassic World that happened that made dinosaur cosplays a thing. I don't know.
we
Everyone
are.
loves dinosaurs.
Yeah, we are in a weird scene.
Actually, to be honest, anything that's just funny can be a meme anytime.
That's true. That's very true. Um, so in concerns of prices, what were the prices for this year's AOD when it came to registration?
I don't recall that one.
It was pretty reasonable, though.
How much was it? Like for a whole batch?
I don't recall off the top of my head either.
Yeah.
Boy,
See,
we're the worst.
we're supposed to do our research, but unfortunately, yeah, we're not wise on that kind of topic.
Ooh, look at us. We're fancy press people. We apply for press badges.
We get through registration easily.
Let's
Check your press privilege.
let's see what the good old internet tells us. Let's see. I'm looking up right now a few details. It's not telling me anything. Okay. Well, we all failed today.
Cost a reasonable amount of money.
Yeah, if I were to guess, I think the price range, I want to say like around $30-$40 maybe for the whole
Something
Yeah,
weekend.
that sounds about.
Maybe something around there, yeah. For
Yeah.
a 2-day convention too. It's actually not that badly priced, unlike Fanime, which is like loaded.
Well, yeah, but then Fanime offers a lot more though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And it's like a 4 or 5 day con. So getting back to AOD, one of the things that and this is something that I've been hearing, but what out of the weekend, like, did you guys felt like the trip was worth it for AOD for this year, compared to other years?
If you only went on a Saturday, then it's worth it. But on Sunday, you really didn't need to go on a Sunday. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say, though, it was worth going if just for the guests alone, because they got some really nice ones.
Because I think like everyone on Saturday was there. Everyone left on Sunday. Like there was really nothing to do on Sunday. Plus it's also Valentine's Day. Like, do you really want to be at a convention for Valentine's Day?
Depends who you are, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see your point there. Okay. My general feeling with AOD is that it usually is good to go for a day. I mean, if just to go hang out or hang out with friends or go cover some panels and whatnot. And I know there are a buttload of events or panels they pack into AOD. But to me, like for me, it just AOD feels more of a hangout con than anything else. And that staying for 2 days, maybe one day. Yeah, I think one day, would probably pretty much be.
Yeah, to top on that, yeah. In all of the animation on display, ever since it moved to the Hyatt in Burlingame.
Mhm.
Yeah. I actually only been to AOD only for like Saturdays too, but this is the first time I actually went to AOD on a Saturday and a Sunday. And yeah, it's different. Like Saturday was all the hype. Sunday was pretty much the mellow down. More like chill hangouts, that kind of thing. Nothing really big happens on Sundays, so.
It's
But
a
then-
hangout con, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
My question to you guys then is that, were you able to find yourselves bored any time, or were you able was AOD had enough to keep you guys busy when you were there?
Yeah, occasionally I did get bored when I was just trying to see, okay, is there anyone I know hanging out over here? Nope. How about over here? Can I check the dealer's hall again? They still don't have any Yu-Gi-Oh cards here. Why do they not have Yu-Gi-Oh cards? There's no
I would say pretty much Sunday was just like Saturday was pretty much all hype because everyone was there. Like I said, Sunday was pretty much the lowdown where I pretty much I can do anything I want. Like, okay, there's not a lot of panels that interested me. There's not a lot of concert that I would like to watch. So I'm just gonna go into Dealer's Hall, Artist Alley, and spend all the dang money I want.
You can do anything you want, but what do you want to do?
That's true.
I see. Speaking of Dealer's Hall and the Artist Alley, so were they both combined into one room for?
Yep.
For this?
That's
Okay.
yes,
they
it is.
were.
Okay. You guys bought anything when you guys were there, or just kind of like window shopped?
Oh, I
I got some.
bought I bought a lot. I would say just the artwork actually. The only things I bought was artwork, and the artwork that the artists that were on animation on display was a good selection that I was able to like spend a couple $50 on some various artworks that I'm gonna put on my wall soon.
I got some Ranma 1/2 manga myself. A friend got me a Digimon print that I really like, so thanks again for that, bro. Let's see. Aside from that, I didn't really get too much. I wanted to get an Agumon plush that they had, but it was $40, and that was just out of my price range. And again, I was trying to find Yu-Gi-Oh cards because there was a new set that just came out, but no, not a single vendor there was selling it, which is unusual.
Oh, let's say also that you know, blind boxes when you see them around dealers hall, they're tempting as heck.
Yeah, yeah.
Me and my friends we were checking out this one vendor that had like Persona keychains, and we pretty much grabbed the whole box and pretty much opened it from there.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, we spent like a good amount of dollars there.
Nice. I know the feeling. I mean, like and I said it in prior podcasts, but like again, for me as a player, it's just been like more about artwork and then like model kits and figurines, and that's about it when it comes to buying outside of food.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, food area around there. Of course, last year's, Japan Expo's first impact. You really can't find a good food place around. You really have to walk a long way to get good food around the Santa Clara Convention Center.
How?
Yep. If you want to eat outside of the convention center and the hotel restaurants, then it's at least a half-mile walk for the closest.
Wow. What was the closest restaurant or place to eat?
There was Togo's. There was Taco Bell.
Yeah, Togo's. There was a bagel place.
There was also Iguanas and IHOP that is like a half-mile down. So you don't really have a long walk to go. Well, what I did though was like I delivered pizza. So that's what I did at Saturday.
Yeah, I just split a pizza from the hotel restaurant with a bunch of friends.
There
It was
you go.
more affordable that way.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it'd been like $15 for a hamburger, and that's
Way
more than I'm
too
willing to
much.
spend on a
Way
burger.
too much. Oh my.
Wow. That's more than the Hyatt then. Damn. Okay. So, with everything considered and kind of you guys' experiences at AOD this past year, what are some pros and cons you can take away from this year?
Pros, some great guests. It was pretty chill, so you're gonna spend some time waiting in line, gonna meet some awesome people, then just gonna hang out with friends, have a good time with them. Cons, I would say, again, the conflicting schedule with all the other things going on there and all the other cons that weekend, and the hotel situation just with needing a shuttle to get to the convention hotel. Those are the cons that I would give it, but all in all, I'd say it was still a fine convention.
For me, I think the pro is just, what Robbie pointed out for the guests. They've expanded really well with bringing more guests, more like important guests coming into animation on display. And it's really awesome to have them here, performing, being a guest of honor, getting the AOD fans, hyped to go to animation on display. The cons, the gaming room was pretty small. There was also just the fact that like it's located in a weird place that doesn't have resources like food. It's not easily walkable to grab food this time around. You have to actually spend kind of money over at the hotel restaurant or whatever restaurants that are gonna be around there. And the fact that like it's really small. Like animation on display this year was actually pretty small. If they can expand like their rooms and actually maybe not have it with the other conventions that were happening at the Santa Clara Convention Center, then they would actually be a bigger animation on display and, would be more fun for all the attendees.
Okay. I just out of curiosity, have they announced dates for next year?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Not as far as I'm aware.
Okay. Gotcha. And I just clicked on their website. They haven't said anything yet. All right. So yeah, definitely. We'll definitely keep an eye on the AOD. If they decide to stay at Santa Clara, or if they move back, And they'll definitely see what they do from here, because definitely it was a move. I think during the convention weekend, many of us were spread apart to other conventions around the U.S., as well as sharing it with 2 other events happening in the same building. But we'll definitely see what happens in the future of AOD, and yeah, we'll definitely will. So by next year, we'll have maybe a different opinion. So thank you guys for joining me to talk about everything AOD. Before we end the show, Robbie, where can they find you on the internet?
Quite a few places. So you can find me on Facebook through my cosplay page, Ryoga Rocket. You can find me on Twitter as Elite Slayer X, or on Instagram as Ryoga_Rocket. You can also find me contributing to California Conventions blog, same as Nate, and to Geek HQ, with Geek spelled with the number 3, so G33K-HQ.com. All those places.
Sweet. Awesome. Nate, where can they find you on the internet?
Like what Robbie said, I'm on the California Conventions blog. You'll see a report coming up in a couple of days about animation on display. Then you'll see my report on AOD. You could also find me on Facebook. My cosplay page is Cosplayer N, Cosplayer quote unquote N. You can also find me on Twitter at NateB39007, and find me on Instagram at the same name, NateB39007.
Awesome. You can find me on Twitter at @DefectiveNaruto. You can follow the work that I do, as well as this podcast, on our website at missionstartpodcast.com in the podcast section. Be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes and Stitcher, as well as our YouTube channel as well. Everything else associated with MSP, really, at this point. Definitely check it out. We upload these Conover episodes whenever we have somebody, or if I get a hands on anybody who's been to a convention as of late. And yeah, definitely check it out if you can. So, with that being said, this is Anthony Bianis, that's Robbie, that's Nate, and we will see you guys next time.